Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, it was all over YouTube and the media that Fresh and Fit, the podcast that everybody knows, all the infamous podcasts and videos, their channel has basically been demonetized, allegedly, and their partnership with YouTube has been revoked, so to speak. Now, I usually stay away from these kind of topics because people come out of the woodwork with crazy concerning these podcasters, these red pill individuals. Although I've said before, some long videos ago, that while I try to find some common ground with some of these people, every now and then I will find points that I do agree with them on. Although I don't always agree with the method that they use, these supposed solutions. I don't agree how they drag people, how they talk about people, how they disrespect people. I'm all for godly advice, godly wisdom, and doing things the right and respectable way. Now, if they don't do that, then that's between them, God, and whoever's platform they're on. And the reason why I said it like that is because there were some issues, some controversial things they said and did, apart from the whole red pill stuff, that really got them in trouble. People are refusing to acknowledge it, but we acknowledge things right here on Yoshi Entertainment, and we're going to do that in this video. Now, I'm not here to gloat or brag about this man losing his monetization because that's his bread and butter, okay? Yes, he's got Rumble and I think like Patreon maybe or something like that, but that's his bread and butter. That's his paycheck. YouTube is not a hobby for him. It's his job. But again, you act a fool on your job, you play silly games, you win silly prizes. But anyways, there have been a lot of people promoting them because they say, well, they give advice to men on how to be better men and how to up their credit score and, money and all of that. And that's, I guess great or whatever. But if that was the lane that they got in, that's the lane they should have stayed in. Their mistake, number one, was, first of all, not being mindful of the company that they kept. And number two, letting the money, the fame, the influence, all of that stuff that they were, reaping the benefits of on their channel, going to their head, blowing their head up to the point where they started treating their platform like anything other than what it is and has always been, which is an opportunity and a privilege. First off, we've already established that, they've got a consumer base, they've got a demographic that they, let's just be honest, pander to, they support them, whatever. Although, once again, there have been a number of videos where they have went viral for saying some mad disrespectful stuff. And whether anybody wants to admit or acknowledge this or not, they like to pick certain demographics that they deem not worthy of respect and talk about them, if you get my drift. And this is not something they started doing recently. This is something that they've been doing for a while now, because I think they've been pretty famous since 2020, since the pandemic started. And if I'm not mistaken, allegedly, YouTube did tell them or warn them, hey, y'all need to stop doing some of the stuff y'all have been doing. Like I said, that was mad disrespectful, and instead of listening essentially to the people who were writing their paycheck, if you will, and toning down the foolishness, they cranked it up tenfold. There have been a number of individuals who have tried to point out that this duo, well, mostly Myron, has a habit of saying some really racist stuff where black people are concerned. And if it's not racist or can't be classified as racism, it's definitely stereotypical, very disrespectfully so. Another thing that people have been pointing out specifically about Myron that I've also seen and I agree with is that he is giving off he's a non-American black person who doesn't see or classify himself as a black person or a melanated person for that matter, but that likes to talk about black Americans and feels like he'll get a free pass to do so because he has brown skin type of vibes. But the joke's on him, we see through the bullcrap, or at least the smart people do. The only good, and I say good in quotes, outcome that came out of his disrespect of black people on a racial and stereotypical level is the question again has been circulating: can you be racist towards black people as a black person or a brown skinned person, etc.? At this point, if we don't know, because I already know I don't need to be convinced, this just solidified the convincing for me. But at this point, if y'all don't know that black people can perpetuate racism, then there's an issue somewhere. There should be no more question. It should be a solidified fact, the truth. Yes, black people can perpetuate racism. Myron is a perfect example of that, especially when, like I said, he kicked it up tenfold by doing what he did in that video that was allegedly on Rumble, and people are trying to use that as an excuse as to why he shouldn't have been punished by YouTube. Understand something. First of all, that video from Rumble is on YouTube now. It's been everywhere. It's been reposted. It's been reacted to. by a host of different YouTubers. So it's everywhere on YouTube. Second of all, y'all don't have to believe this, come to grips with it, or accept it or not, but these platforms reserve the right to hold y'all accountable for what you say, do, and perpetuate on other platforms. Subpoint A of point 2, that's only a smart business move. And point B, subpoint of point 2, that would reflect badly back on them as a platform if they didn't do that. So you're over here letting somebody else be famous on your platform after they did something crazy on somebody else's platform. Y'all don't have to be smart about this, but these platforms are going to protect their business assets, their money, the clout, their everything else. They know if you go crazy on somebody else's platform, it's only a matter of time before you do that on theirs if they don't hold you accountable. Now, some people might still think that that's still a reach, that that's still, just overboard to have happen to them. But at the same time, were we watching the same video? Remember, this was the video where he was addressing the two guys. They're from a YouTube channel called Abba and Preach. These guys do reaction videos, and sometimes they do reaction videos to the Fresh and Fit videos, which they had the right to do because remember, all these videos on YouTube, this is a public platform, so people can do stuff like that. They also had the right to publicly disagree with the videos, the content, the points that Fresh and Fit puts out, just like everybody else. Fresh and Fit, of course, had the right to then say, well, we don't care about what you think. Once again, I'm going to say it. Public platform, freedom of speech. But then they took it a step further. They got mad, I'm assuming, because these guys didn't agree with them. Then went on to Rumble, some other guy, I think his name was Sicko, his channel, and put on a KKK hood and repeatedly said the N-word and other racial slurs about these two young men. He even went so far as to make monkey jokes about the young man who had the locks, and in a separate video on his own podcast, put on a braided wig to mock this young man, like I said, who had the locks from Abba and Preach. Now, after all that, if you don't understand why they might have gotten in some serious trouble with YouTube, I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, that was completely off the deep end and completely unnecessary. It was vulgar and just morbidly disrespectful. Now, some people were trying to claim that YouTube was already just fed up with the red pill content, that they were already on YouTube's radar because of that, and then this stuff was kind of like one of the last straws that broke the camel's back, if you will. This situation, along with him bringing on Nick Fuentes, and if you know who that is, you know that he's pretty controversial. I believe that the guy is smart, okay? He's charismatic, and I think that's what makes him very attractive to a lot of people. I agree with a few points that he's made. Like I've said before in the past, I'm very pro marriage, life, and family. Although I'm also pro if a woman wants to have a job. I don't think she's an awful person for wanting to have a job or not wanting to have kids. But that's another topic for another video. Everybody knows how controversial Nick Fuentes is. He had him on the show. Just Pearly Things had him on her show, even though her followers, her demographic, told her don't bring him on there. And she did it anyways. And they were pissed off at her for that. During his little show meeting with Mr. Nick Fuentes, the women that were surrounding him encouraged him to say the N-word with the hard R, and he did it almost without hesitation. Of course, there was the, oh, well, you're not going to hit me if I say it, but other than that, there was no hesitation. And I not only give him the side eye for that, but I also question his respect of other people. Because if he had respect for black people, I don't care if they were chanting him on to do it. He would have said, no, I'm not doing that because that's disrespectful. And he would have gotten up and walked off the show, but he didn't do that. And then to add icing on top of the cake, people were making videos talking about, oh, look at these black women encouraging this white man to say the N-word. First of all, no woman can encourage or make a man say or do anything he doesn't already want to do. Second of all, it wasn't just black women in that room saying say the N-word. And third, it was Myron's show. He should have shut it down. He should have said, y'all are crazy. Be quiet now or leave. He's not saying that. And if he did, when he did, he should have kicked him off. But instead, what did Myron do? He laughed right along with everybody else. It was Myron's show. He was the one responsible for what was said on the show by who it was said by. Like I said, all of this put him on the radar. And people think that this is why YouTube shut him down the way that they did. But I beg to differ. If you all remember, there was actually one show where he invited Mr. Charleston White, the infamous, onto his show. And this man blatantly admitted that he R-worded, allegedly, white women just because they were white back when he was younger and had trains ran on them without their consent. So please miss me with the, oh, they wanted it, because he blatantly admitted that they did not. He made sure he went out of his way to make sure Myron understood that they didn't want it. He knew what he was doing, he knew it was wrong, and he blatantly admitted to it on that man's channel, and he sat there and chuckled about it. That pissed a lot of people off, because you know how many people who are R-word victims who that completely was unsettling to? More than unsettling, really. That pissed a lot of people off, and I don't blame them for feeling that way after he invited that man onto that show and let him say that on his platform. Now, I've said this once, and I'll say it again. They might not be that concerned, or as much as they should be, about the racism against black people, but if you sit up on one of these public platforms and talk about what you did that was racist to white people, or how you disrespected white people, especially them white women, they're going to shut you down. I honestly think that was really the interview that got him got. Now, his most recent video with his, co-host, if you will, was of him being upset, crying, talking about, how he's no longer monetized, how he's no longer a partner of YouTube, and that he blatantly admitted that, because both of these men had actually really decent, good jobs before they went to YouTube. They had great jobs, actually. He was in law enforcement, apparently. And this man had the audacity to say that saving kids wasn't as good as giving advice to grown men. Now, if there was anything that really solidified his fate, it was definitely that statement, despite how you feel about it, whether you agree with him or not. I morbidly disagree with what he said. And if at any point he wanted to go back to law enforcement, he better pray to the good God Almighty that he can even do that, because he may have just burned that bridge with that goofy statement that he said. Like, I really don't understand, after everything he's already done and this happening to him, why he could sit up there and fix his mouth to say something else goofy like that. I guess it's really true that some people really don't learn from their mistakes, even when they really can't afford to not learn from their mistakes. And it wasn't that saving men was better than saving the kids, because that's not the truth, y'all. It's about that money that he's making. It's about the fame that he's getting from YouTube. That's what it's really about. Don't let these influencers fool you. Like I said, I'm not here to gloat or celebrate him losing his monetization. I'm just here to say that there were some things that he did that was blatantly not right that caused him to get where he is. Now, why he want to sit up on the internet and act sad now? He should have been thinking about that before he did what he did. You can agree with some of the points that he's made while also agreeing about the fact that he was completely disrespectful about some of the stuff that he said and he did on his channel. Both of those statements can be, and basically are, true at the same time. But once again, these platforms are going to protect themselves. Okay, like I said, if you're out here acting a plum fool, they're not going to put you on or support you, because that reflects badly back on them and the people that support them. Rumble, as I heard just recently, is apparently a publicly traded platform. So all the people that's involved with that, if you're out here acting a plum fool, they don't have to support you. And they're not going to pay you to get on their platform and give people reasons by being disrespectful to not be involved with their platform. They're not going to pay for you to make videos on their platform disrespecting their terms of service, which you agree to whether you realize it or not, the moment you decided to put videos on their platform and want them to pay you to put those videos on their platform. The people who own these platforms, they don't want people to withdraw their support. So they're going to do whatever they have to in order to protect that. And that means taking away your monetization, so you don't have some kind of motivation to keep making this foolishness that you're putting out there. That's exactly what they're going to do. Now, before anybody gets in their feelings and tries to pull the, their free speech is being suppressed card, first of all, let me stop you right there. Their free speech is not being suppressed. They're not being silenced. They're not booted off of YouTube. They're not banned. It's just that they're no longer a part of the YouTube program, which means they can't make money off of their videos. Despite having free speech, YouTube still reserves the right to stop promoting you, paying you for your videos, if you, like I said before, go against their terms of service, which you automatically agree to when you get on YouTube. You get into the partner program, you start making videos to make money on YouTube. They can still make videos, they just can't make money off of them. Which again, I told y'all, don't let these people fool you. It's not always about helping people. It's about the moolah. He should have been thinking about said moolah and these people he claimed he was trying to help before he did what he did and before he said what he said. And then this boy had the audacity to blame it on the Matrix. That just completely threw me for a loop. It really gets me when they do that mess. All the stuff that they do and say, and y'all want to blame the Matrix, are you kidding me? No, sir, it wasn't the Matrix. It wasn't the feminists. It's not the women that you bring on there and the other women who you like to degrade and stereotype and be racist towards and say that they're not feminine, fit, and friendly enough. No, sir, it was you. It was you and what you said. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all have a blessed day and be respectful out here.